Hey, I'm Steve from Endemic Environments. I'm a garden designer and we design gardens with high ecological value, which means that we boost biodiversity, but we also have a look towards the future. This is benefits our health, but also the environment's health. This is for homeowners that and property owners that have either residential properties or acreage and really want to improve their home life, their garden life, have a sanctuary to go to for relief and something that enriches them after a busy day with the family or work, and that's what we really gear it towards. Is for a lot of positive value in the long term, a little bit of financial input in the short term, but the long term gains are huge for both our health, our family's health, and for the environment too, because you're adding to a suburban canopy and biodiversity. You're bringing in pollinators, and yeah, you're helping bridge the gap between our green spaces and also something that has functionality and flow and is proper simple design that is architecturally high in value and gives you something at the end which you can grow with and that you can feel constantly enriched and engaged and have a connection to your garden and the land. So in a nutshell, our design process is quite simple, but it's thorough. First off, we get the initial contact going. So you book a chat and we'll go through a design request where I have lots of questions there. Nothing too full on, just some formalities that gets us on the same page to see if if we match in terms of the project and what needs to be done, etc. So once that's done, we will make contact and book a chat. We'll have a chat and we will move on to the proposal and sending you the offer of what we can achieve based on the information that we've gathered together. After this process and the acceptance of the design proposal, we will move into booking a spot in our calendar, and this activates the next phase of consultation and site visit. And this is where we really start to understand the landforms and the landscape and every single aspect in to do with your project. We'll do site analysis, we'll map it out, and then this moves into the next phase, which is drafting and ideation, where we will look at everything as a whole and start to put these ideas into sketch form, a 2D plan draft that gives some basic details and puts everything together. We get this to the point where we think it's almost there in terms of flow, functionality. The ideas of plants are in our head, the materials that we're looking at, and it gets us to the point where we think that it is very, very close to the final phase. After this is where we will take it back to you and you will review it and you will tell us whether you like what you see or whether you don't like what you see, and you'll make a bunch of notes, and then we'll get together or we'll Zoom call and go over all of these notes so that we can take all of that review process into the final phase. So the final phase is after this point. We will get into the final plan development. So after this, we'll start to tighten everything up, scale everything properly, and get it to the point where it's all final. We can document it. We can batch it up into a folder. We can also print them off if needed, and then we can send you and deliver the final plans, which will have concept, plant planning, 2D schematics for construction, and contractors to read off to take into the next phase of implementation. So after that, we will help with the implementation and tendering towards getting some reliable contractors, of which we have many connections with, and we have a certain batch of contractors that we use regularly. And after this point, you can work out whether you would like us to stay involved with the project. This is good because we can be a conduit and we can help guide it to fruition and be that spokesperson between you and the contractor. We use the contractors that we generally use, so the relationships are good and you get the best outcomes in this manner. After that, then we look into post-construction, or during that phase, the planting. So generally we like to give you a proposal for the planting contract, as we like to handle this side of things, the layout, and generally the planting or overseeing the planting. This gets the best outcomes too, because this is where this is our bread and butter. This is where we know what plants to swap in and swap out at the nursery. We know what species go where, and we can do really good on ground delivery of that too. So after post design, we will give a fee proposal for both planting contract and looking over overseeing the project as well. So beyond this, once the completion has happened, we can also talk about maintenance and putting in a maintenance program and engaging those contractors if need be. And then we will just give correspondence and support after that via email and talking over the phone. So that's the general process. It's quite simple, but it's thorough, and it's a roadmap that's very successful for us. Okay, so now I've gone through the process and what we do. So if you are feeling confident and you'd like to book a chat, then press the yellow button that says book a chat. Otherwise, keep watching as I go through a bit more of our projects, the benefits you get from our garden, and much more. I've seen many gardens that work, many gardens that don't work over the 20 years. One of the key things I reckon is plants and flow, which comes with pathways and directing everything the right way, having really smart but simple design, not getting too complex with it, being within budget, or if we're over budget, we're able to adjust but keep the core principles there and the core feeling, the vibe of the whole place. Along with that is choosing the right plant species based on locality, based on what the seasons can grow. If we're doing a permaculture or productive garden or a fruit orchard, and I find that the native gardens and the productive gardens go really, really special hand in hand. I've got my own, and they benefit each other, and they benefit us so much. I would be lost without it. Like those times when you're having a hard day, just to retreat to the garden to do some potting around, pick some fruit, there's always something to do. There's something to engage with, something to connect with, and it's such a fulfilling thing. That's a weekly thing. It's a daily thing. It can be an hourly thing. I work from home a lot, so I get out in the garden when I need a break, and to have something that's actually thriving and that's bringing in pollinators, that's really adding to a local biodiversity, but also adding to our kitchen, adding to the education for our children. It's amazing. It's something that money can't buy. Well, you can, but the value of it is above that. So I just want to touch on one of our previous projects up in the foothills, up near Belair. They had a real challenging slope. It's like in a large tree that sort of hang its roots in there. So design was really important to make sure that we protected the pool, which was on the underside of it, but also created a new area right up the top section, which the family could enjoy too. So yeah, the design in terms of understanding how the land would be and what needed to be retained was important. We put some rock walling to retain some natural looking stuff, and then that was able to divide the levels, and then we were able to put an open staircase, gave pretty well free-flowing movement Designing something that really is looking towards the future too is a is a great way to invest what you have. If you have, to spend, then what better way to do it by improving your local area, improving canopy that much of our suburbs miss, improving joy, peacefulness, improving. There's so many benefits. There's something pretty special when those first plants go into the ground. Just had one recently where the client, she was pretty overwhelmed by the experience of having about 500 to 600 different plant species planted in a day or two, and yeah, it gets quite emotional. It's nice because the planning before then had taken some time, and the design was set, and then it was bringing it into fruition, and then the landscaping happens, and that's fun. It's everything's deconstructed then constructed, but then the one of the last points is putting those plants in, the locally sourced native plants and also the productive plants. And it's happened time and time again where clients get really overwhelmed and emotional about how that looks after, and the feeling of it, and that is finally happening. And then just the next 1 to 3 years is like amazing to see these plants mature. This sounds like something that you've been on the fence with. This is where we start. This is where you start. This is where you put everything together and give us your wish list, and we'll take it from there. We got really good A to B on how to get this happening. Been in the industry for a long time now, and some of the biggest problems is just getting started, but also just tackling those hurdles along the way. Comes to post design, we can help you there too. So we've got many projects on the go at the moment. Have a certain amount of projects that we do each year, so we get booked up quite quickly. So if you're confident about this and you'd like to learn more, book a chat. Press the yellow button that says book a chat, and you'll go through the design request form, and then we'll book in the calendar a time for us to have a good chat. And I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.